So in this video, I'm going to run down how I got the tone in my bass cover of Minority by Green Day. I'll show you the equipment that I use and also what I've done here in Cubase as well. So I guess starting things off with the bass that I used. See if I can get it in the shot here, just about. So I've got my Made in Mexico Fender Precision bass. I upgraded the pickup. You can just about see that. I upgraded it to the EMG Geezer Butler pickup, and then the bridge is a Hipshot Kick-Ass bridge. The strings that I'm using are they're Roto Sound nickel strings, and the gauge is 110 to 50, and we're in standard tuning for this one. And then I'm playing with a pick, and the pick that I've been using more recently is one of these. It's a Clayton 0.8mm sharp triangle. Really enjoying these picks at the moment. If I then break down my pedal board, so my bass is going into the tuner here, and then from there we go into the MXR bass compressor. Ratio is set to 4 on this pedal. Over to the Boss LS2. Out of the LS2, it goes into the Thunderstorm flanger, and then over to the SansAmp VT Bass DI. But we've obviously got the two different channels of the Boss LS2. So if we break those down, in the red channel we've got the Ibanez Pentatone EQ. I've got a separate video just on this pedal, just no talking. I played a loop and then just fiddled with all of the controls. So if you're interested in that pedal, I'll put a little link up above so you can check that one out. So basically that pedal is giving us a little bit of a low end boost because the green channel takes some of the low end away with the drive pedal that I'm using. So the green channel goes into the TC Spark Mini, over to the Morley True Drive, and then over to the Rat, and then that goes back to the LS2. So I didn't use the Spark or the wah pedal. The distortion is coming from the Rat. Volume on the Rat is set just past 3 o'clock. Distortion is roughly 9 o'clock, and then the filter is about probably 2 o'clock. So yeah, because the Rat takes a little bit of the low end away, we've got the Ibanez Pentatone EQ pedal in the other side of the LS2 to kind of run it in parallel and get a distorted tone with maintenance of the low end. As we said, from the LS2 over to the flanger, not used on this track, but then we've got the SansAmp VT Bass DI. I've got the cab simulation engaged on this pedal. EQ wise, a little bit of a bass boost. A very, very slight mid cut, and then a very, very subtle treble boost as well. In terms of the drive settings on the pedal, quite low drive on the SansAmp itself. I tend to set that fairly clean, so that's set at roughly 9 o'clock. And then the character knob is maybe about 10 o'clock with the blend almost on full. And then from the VT Bass DI, we go into my interface, which is a Motu M2. So that then gave us this tone. So I'll play you my bass track before I added any plugins. So what you're about to hear, that's just, I guess, what my pedal board was sounding like. I've then done two little things in Cubase. I've added an EQ and a very small amount of saturation. So what I'll do, I will play you that part again, and then I'll just turn on and off all of those plugins together so you can basically hear my pedal board versus my pedal board plus a few minor tweaks in Cubase. Okay, so here we go. So in terms of what those two plugins are doing, I'll turn the saturation off for now. The first the first plugin that's being used is the TDR Nova. This is a free plugin, and I basically set a high pass filter at 45 Hz and then a low pass filter at 5.1 kilohertz. And then there's only one other little sort of change that's been done to the EQ, and that is a little bit of a cut at 495 Hz, about 4 dB cut. So what I'll do, I will just kind of turn this plugin on and off so you can see what that is doing to the overall sound. So yeah, essentially I guess we're scooping the tone a little bit with that plugin. And then let's add in the final plugin, which is this saturation knob, another free plugin. It's got the option here to kind of keep the low and then only kind of saturate the slightly higher frequencies. So that's what I've done. And you can see it's not set particularly high, but again, I'll turn it on and off so you can see what that plugin is doing. So yeah, not doing a ton, that one, just adding a little bit more saturation, just kind of bringing out a little bit extra in terms of some of those qualities and nuances in the sound. And that, I think, is everything, other than on the main stereo output, I just put a maximizer on and kind of turned the output down a little bit just to, again, bring out a few extra details here and there. So yeah, that is how I achieved my tone on the cover I've posted of Minority by Green Day. So I hope you found that interesting. Let me know if you've got any questions about anything I've covered in the video here. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.